Dr. Pitford, God bless his soul, a good friend of mine. Unfortunately, he just recently died, and he was a fantastic researcher, and he came to Loma Linda, and we did an experiment which was published in JADA in 1996. What we did was we got some monkeys. These are monkeys that they were 3 to 4 years old, and we exposed the lower incisors or the mandibular incisors of monkeys. And I purposely told them, just go to extremes. And we removed the roof of the pulp chambers. We stopped the bleeding by using diluted sodium hypochlorite. And then we either pulp cap them with calcium hydroxide, zinc phosphate, and amalgam, or we pack them with MTA. As you can see here, we randomly did that in these monkeys. And then we waited for about 5 months. And then we sacrificed our animals, we perfused them. And then this is what we got in our animals, that we used calcium hydroxide and zinc phosphate and amalgam as a pulp capping material. As you can see here, there's no bridge there and lots of inflammation. I want you to compare that with when we use MTA. You see, you have MTA here. This is where the MTA was. This is new dentin. And as you can see here, the odontoblasts have lined up beautifully there, and there is no inflammation there. One of the questions that comes up is, what type of tissue is this? And that is something that Dr. Wally Andlin, one of our former residents, did with Dr. Shabahang and Dr. Wright. And what they did was they used dentin sialoprotein as a marker to see what type of tissue we get. And when they did that, as you can see here, it looks like, based on this study, the tissue that you get with MTA in rats is actually dentin, in contrast to calcium hydroxide or BMP. Dr. Payruch and his associates from Iran, they did also a study under a scanning electron microscope, and they wanted to see what type of tissue they get. And so they used MTA in dogs, and it's interesting to see the type of tissue that you get. This is the scanning electron microscope, and this is what they found. Look at this. This is just beautiful dentin. And if you take a look at this from the pulpal side, you will see that the structure, or the calcific barrier, has characteristics of dentin.